Welcome everybody to week, I want to say 13.
Wow.
of Homemade with TGP. Yay, we've made it to week 13. Tonight we have a special guest from Temple Beth Shalom. We have Eric Bernstein and his wife, Erica, and their daughter, Dara, who are going to help us. And they're going to teach us all about how to make eggplant meatballs, a vegetarian dish, which is very exciting. So welcome everybody. And if you have questions, I'm going to mute everybody. If you have questions, just raise your hand or chat, or you can unmute yourself to to ask your questions. So, all right, Eric, let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you, Pizza Press, for allowing me to demonstrate this dish. We've been cooking this dish for about 8 years. 8 years. We learned about this dish in Weight Watchers, and it's been a staple. We make it at least once a week in our household. And with the pandemic, we've been making it more these days. It's time-consuming dish, but so you need to prepare about an hour. You need to give yourself an hour head start. For the purpose of saving time, I've created several phases of the dish. So I'm going to start with one phase, and I'll show you the next phase when there is time being held. So, but the first thing you need is an eggplant, breadcrumbs, an egg. You will need some people a microwavable pot with a cup lid to do steaming. We've been steaming our eggplant in an Instant Pot for quite some time. So I had to do research on how to convert that to a microwavable dish, microwavable conversion. But it worked out well. I had tested it a couple of times and hope you find it easy as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is peel wash the eggplant. I already washed it, but I'm just demonstrating again that for the purposes of demonstrating the hygiene. So I'm going to peel the eggplant.
We use different peelers. We find this one where we got it at Home Goods. I think the peeler as a good peeler. And I've been cooking this, as Eric said, for 8 years. I brought it to our temple for temple events where we would have potluck dinners and stuff, and we would put some pasta with it on the side, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. So we have it peeled. We put the peels in the trash.
And then what we do is we dice the eggplant.
But you don't want to go too small, or else it won't cook right.
Right.
I slice them into sheets, and then I'm going to dice them.
My daughter is 14, so I taught her how to do this recipe, and she even improved it. So it's a good recipe.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Okay, so this is very important. You guys all said it was a Weight Watcher recipe. I'm always on Weight Watchers. Do we know how many points it is?
Okay, so I went to my Weight Watchers app because we use a cup of panko breadcrumbs. So a cup of panko breadcrumbs is 9 points. but you're not eating all these eggplants, meatballs. So I'm guessing it's gonna be like one might be like 2 points or so, because when you break it down, like, I don't think it's gonna be, it's not very high in points. And then what you put in it, like we put in a 1 whole egg, and I believe now eggs are 0 points in Weight Watchers. So yes.
Excellent. So it sounds like it's, and you're not, we're not using any oil, right? 'Cause oil, excellent. All right. I'm very excited.
Yes, me too. But that was a very good question, because right before I went on live with you guys, Eric's like, how many points is this? I'm like, well,
I remember from last time, I think we had a couple of Weight Watcher members here. I used to be a Weight Watcher member years ago.
so now he's adding some water.
I'm filling it up to the top just so that it will steam once I put the cover in it in the microwave.
So the water goes,
It just goes in the pot, and then I put on a cover, and it's going to allow it to steam in the microwave.
perfect. Got it.
And then you steam for how long, Dad?
I'm putting it in the microwave for 8 minutes.
Okay, and as it steams, it gets very hot. So when you take it out, you
Just
gotta
be very careful because of the water. It is going to be very hot when it comes out.
Eric, what size dice was that? What size dice did it end up being?
This big. It's
It was this ice.
Pieces, little
it's like
pieces.
Little
tiny
square.
pieces, but
I
not too
can't-
tiny.
It's going to end up as mush anyway. I try to dice it small though.
But you know, at the end, it ends up as the consistency as ground meat.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, and it came to the point where whatever you usually put in your meatballs, you just substitute meatballs for the eggplant, and you can add whatever seasonings and stuff you want. So we, as a family, like breadcrumbs in our meatballs, and we like to put in an egg in our meatball, and maybe some garlic. So it goes that way. And they said we've been using this for about 8 years, and it came from a Weight Watchers recipe. And
We'll mix it with pasta. We'll have it with pasta.
sometimes we make it into a hero.
Do you put in salt and pepper?
Yeah,
We put it in once it's done steaming and draining. So right now it's in the microwave, just steaming up, and it's going to boil, which turns into steam. And
Yeah,
then
so
once that
What height of the microwave is it? Is it on high? Is it medium? Where is it?
the standard, it's the standard. I don't really play around with the temperature of the microwave. The wattages, I just the standard microwave temperature, 8 minutes.
And for how long?
8 minutes.
The default on
Thank
So
you.
what I'm gonna
is high.
And so what I'm going to do is, once this is done, I'm just going to show you how it's going to look after I take it out of the microwave, and you'll see it drain. Now, other people mentioned that they do the eggplant recipe. Are there any what did they add to it? I know that 1 or 2 people mentioned that they do the eggplant recipe. Do you add any special spices or seasoning?
I had a recipe that added white beans
Yes, yes. You have,
I guess I'm not sure what that, I guess it gave it more flavor. I don't really know. I made it once and it was really good. It was really good. garlic, I think fresh garlic was in it, and the eggplant, the egg, the breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, all that,
Mhm.
Right.
and
We
beans.
do add garlic. We do add garlic.
Garlic, yeah.
And the type of mood. I mean, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Your
I mean,
choice.
I just followed a recipe that my sister sent me. It was the first time I ever made it, and I really did like it a lot. I'm gonna make it again. But your recipe sounds fantastic.
Eric, I
My
have a
only problem is I'm probably the only person in the world that doesn't have a microwave, so I have to cook it in my oven.
I was just gonna ask the same question. If I want to steam it in a pot, do you have any idea how long it will take to steam it if I don't use a microwave?
That I do not know. I was Googling that and I saw it different. Because I was trying to look for recipes that had the pot with the steaming accessory on top. I could not find, unless somebody is familiar with steaming in a pot.
I mean, when we first started this recipe, we used a pan, like a stir fry pan that had a lid. I think we put in like a couple of tablespoons of water after we diced and everything. And for like, I don't know how, like maybe 15 minutes or so that it can soften up. So, I mean, you can.
And my other question is, do you leave the seeds? Do you take the seeds out, or you?
No.
We just take,
Keep it everything
Yes.
as is.
yes.
I particularly like the ones that are ripe, tough. I haven't ripe yet. They're still tough to peel. It makes it easier to peel off the skin.
FYI, I found a couple of recipes that said to steam eggplant on a stovetop for about 15 minutes till it's tender.
Yeah, but you do like a couple of tablespoons of water and you get like a lid if you have a pot with a lid, and yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a steamer insert, it's better because otherwise it'll kind of boil and get really soggy.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah, show your baby. Hi, sweetie.
Bugsy, say hi.
Hi, kitty.
We had last week or 2 weeks ago for our service, because it was the portion of Noah, we had temple members bring in their pets or show off their pets during the service in Noah.
Eric, when you said to use different spice, you did salt and pepper. I just pulled this out. Wait, where is it? I think people have this, the everything bagel spice.
We were talking about that.
We use it all the time.
We do use that from time to time. We use it when we make challah.
Yeah, we do too.
We use it when we make challah and it comes out well.
So good. Can't find it. It's somewhere.
Eric, may I ask you a question about the challah?
Yes.
I made challah once, but the bread had already been kneaded for me. The flour and everything had already been kneaded for me. I have arthritic hands, and I have gone to 11 places looking for the pre-made challah dough. Do you know of any place where I could get it in Queens or the island?
Well, I know in this they have like.
But Trader Joe's have it?
No, Trader Joe's has pizza dough.
Okay, so when I was growing up, I grew up in the Bronx, and we had like, I forgot the name of the brand, and it's Knesset or something. It was in a blue box. So what you can do is, it's in the frozen aisle, and yes, and you let it sit out. It smells beautiful as it's thawing out, and you can put it in the oven, and it's kind of pre-made.
But I can't do it.
What's the brand?
No, I can do everything else.
What's the brand of challah you bake?
Oh, we make ours from
It's
scratch.
Canarit, Robin, Canarit.
That's the
Canarit,
name of the
yeah.
brand that I remember growing up doing, and once in a while I still do it. But
Yeah,
yes,
but usually we do ours homemade.
we have a good homemade recipe that we
Okay.
like using. But yes, Canarit is
My mouth water.
Canarit is the one that I remember growing up from the box, and you leave it out to rise and everything smells beautiful throughout the whole house.
And then you can braid it.
Oh, it's braided already.
Oh,
But then
I
what
want
you can
to do the braiding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's already braided.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
So they steamed in the microwave. I'm just taking it out. I'm gonna put it in a colander. I usually have it in a colander, but this is for part 2 of it. So I'm using it in a sifter, and I'm just going to carefully take it out
very hot
and drain the water.
Now with eggplant, you're gonna get a lot of water when you take it out. What we do is we put it in the colander and then put a bowl underneath it, and you let it cool down for about 20 minutes. And what the colander will do, and what the colander will hold it, and what the bowl underneath is going to do is collect all the water that's still in the eggplant, because eggplant is a very watery vegetable.
Right.
Hold on.
So I'm just going to take this over here.
And now Dara is going to show you step 2.
So this sits for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then so I'm gonna just put this on its side over here. And one moment. And then what we're gonna do is bring this up a little over here. And so this had been sitting for about 20, 25 minutes. So it is at the consistency we want. If I can demonstrate, maybe,
I'll do.
it is
You want
soft.
a clear bowl? If you get a clear bowl so they can see it. There's one underneath. She can use one underneath. She can get one from underneath, Eric. Okay. So get one from underneath. Get one from underneath. Yeah. Okay, so you'll see with the clear bowl, you'll be able to see what it looks like.
And now I'll be showing you how to.
So you see now it is, the texture is moldable. It's
Yeah.
you can mix it up now. So now what we do is we add 1 egg.
And then
Go ahead.
And then I will add 1 cup of breadcrumbs.
We like using panko breadcrumbs because it gets a little crunchiness. But you can use whatever breadcrumbs you like. If you like gluten-free breadcrumbs, if you like what other breadcrumbs are there? I think whole wheat. They have seasoned breadcrumbs, whatever you like.
Yeah. So currently we're using seasoned breadcrumbs, and then what I like to do is instead of mashing it with my hands, I like it to actually stir it.
You can stir it, you can mash it with your hands, you can mash it with a masher to make it easier to mold. And then after, so this had set for 20 minutes, and so now that's when you add the egg, you add the breadcrumbs, and mix it together now.
And we can add some salt and pepper if you want.
Yeah.
You can add salt and pepper if you want. My personal opinion is the panko does well with it. It seasons it well.
And this is where you would also add, if you have the everything bagel seasoning, you can add it into this stage.
And then
what we
now this is what it should look like.
so
we do is
We
get
take
some
a parchment paper. We're gonna take parchment paper because we find that it sometimes sticks with aluminum foil. So we're gonna take parchment paper
Spray it down.
and spray it down.
Right
I
there.
add a little vegetable spray as well as insurance.
and then
And then we use a scooper.
And that's pretty
You can use an ice cream scooper, you can use a spoon. I prefer a scooper because it's more formed.
yeah, and it also
Now,
makes more
depending on the
consistency.
depending on what size you want, you can use a bigger scooper or a smaller scooper. And you just lay it down.
Roll it out. Then lay it out, and then at this point your oven should be preheated at 375.
Yeah.
This usually takes some time.
Roughly how many meatballs do you get in a batch?
You get about like with the tiny one, you get about 20. With one, you get about 20.
With one size, with one large eggplant. On the larger ones, you get maybe about 10.
We also have done these like as appetizers too.
Yes, you can use
Yeah.
them as appetizers or part of a
main meal.
entree for dinner for the spaghetti and
Yeah,
meatballs.
and then you can also do this for Passover if you do it with matzo meal.
Yes, we've done that too. See, it's very versatile.
Can you like make like a pasta sauce and like tomorrow and then drop them in the pasta sauce? Do something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah,
Done
You
that
can do
too.
that, yeah.
Done that
Ooh.
too.
You know what I can see? I can see using small amounts to stuff mushrooms and put, here it comes, and put some cheese on top of it, like a mixture with, normally that wouldn't be kosher, right? Meat and milk, but here you could do
But
it.
this
That's
isn't
right.
meat.
yeah, but
This is not
you can
meat,
do that.
It's vegetable.
It's just eggplant. Yeah.
That's right. So lots of possibilities here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say you preheat the oven to 375?
Yes.
Just making sure.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
So, yeah, this, as my daughter said, this is a big process too, but it's fun. And since the pandemic started in March, she's been homeschooling, and she finds cooking and being in the kitchen a therapy for her.
yeah.
So I let her just go for it.
This is pretty much
And
just
I have no complaints about that.
yeah. This has just been my like home and home.
What else have you started making since you've been home?
Well,
You do cakes. You
We do cake.
yeah, I mean some homemade desserts sometimes for like really special occasions.
And we like making this egg dish. It's called shashuka. Oh my God, very good.
It's so good.
Very good.
It's pretty much just eggs cooked in tomato sauce,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good.
Very good. Well, and like to make some chicken, you know, like we've been giving her more of a responsibility in the
And
kitchen.
cooking,
Yes, and
yeah.
cooking. You know, and she's taking it full on. And as I said, she adapted this recipe, like not with the ingredients part, but with the mixing it with the spoon. So it comes out in a way that I would not have imagined. And I feel like it comes out really good now.
Yeah, and it's also safer for better hygiene because before you pretty much roll them, you wash your hands. But now, like you can pretty much, yeah. So it's safer for better hygiene.
Okay. And it comes out good. So far we have
We have about 14 and I'm almost done.
So that's about 1.5 points for each meatball.
About, yeah. So I rounded
Yeah.
it off to about 2.
Yeah, because they are pretty small.
That's perfect. That's a perfect Weight Watcher meal.
Yeah. And I have to talk to my Weight Watchers coach, and I have to tell her that we did this. She'll
Well, I would put these meatballs over zucchini pasta, which is 0. I hate for this to turn into a Weight Watcher class, but
it's fine.
zucchini pasta with these meatballs, and it's very low point meal.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think in the past, once or twice we even tried making zucchini meatballs. That can be done
Because
too.
that's because zucchini has high water
So
content.
yeah, so it probably has to rest for a while.
Right.
And she's almost done with this tray to the center.
Yeah, so about the size that I'm doing, which is extremely small, you get about, I would say like
20 at least.
At least 20.
18 to 20. Yeah, so this is one of the timely processes.
And we'll be eating eggplant meatballs a lot in the next few days because we have like so much of it now. Okay, well, last one coming out.
And then I have this last one. I could probably make like 21.
But we don't have enough
Yeah.
on our tray.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Can you freeze leftovers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can freeze them.
Yeah.
So in total we have 20. And then
And so they come out like this, if you can see it.
Dad, raise his hands.
There you go. So they come out like that. And so I'm going to put it in the oven for a total of
Like 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
And
And I know that with technology, you get to see them immediately. So this had been cooking for about 25 minutes. Shortly before we started, and they come out. They're not, as you can see, they're not moist. They're firm on the outside, so you can put them in the tomato sauce, or you can put them on put them in pasta. You can mix them together, and that's pretty much it. And you get 25 within one eggplant. And I think the eggplant were about a pound.
Well, about a pound, between a pound and under a pound and a quarter. Like
How long do they stay in the oven for?
25 minutes.
25 minutes.
25
About
minutes.
25 minutes.
All right, we're a step behind you because we had to wait for our eggplant to drain, but we're trying to catch up. 25 minutes, got it.
Right, so these we put in, I actually was documenting, keeping track of all the times. That batch we put in, we started,
At like 6.
no, we started heating those at about, right before this started, and right before this meeting started, and then kept it at a lower heat so it doesn't completely dry out. Are there any other questions?
Once again, what do you season the eggplant with? What is your basic seasoning?
We use panko breadcrumbs and salt and pepper
And an egg.
and an egg to mix it together.
Onions or not?
No, that's up to you. You can add onions. You're certainly free to add onions.
We've also done the everything bagel seasoning in it. We just couldn't find it.
Eric,
Fresh garlic put in it.
We've
Fresh
done
garlic is
fresh
good.
garlic.
Eric, you don't watch that, Eric and Erica and Dara, right?
Yeah.
So you don't watch too often, but Alan already wants to know if he can put chocolate chips in it.
I know you, Alan. I've seen you a couple of times. You did get creative. I'll say that.
I don't know.
So that only had only 3 or
That
4
worked.
points to the ball, that's all.
Why don't you try
It's
it
in the
out?
palm of your hand. The world is in the palm of your hand. The recipe is in the palm of your hand. You can do whatever you want.
This is my theory. This is my theory.
Add cheese, Alan, add cheese.
Oh, cheese and
You can add cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Garlic
My
and
theory
Parmesan
is
cheese.
whatever you can put in a meatball, just take the meat out of it, add the eggplant, and have fun.
Go for it, right.
That's true. That's excellent. Excellent. All right, we're going with the everything bagel seasoning. Oh, okay, so I don't want to be a QVC commercial, but we ordered this the other night because we're a little bit crazy with QVC. So I'm not using a pan with the parchment. We ordered this. Does anybody see this?
I know, what's that?
No, I haven't seen
That's
that.
like a silicone.
It's a silicone tray. You're not supposed to use any spray on it. Nothing sticks on it. So we're gonna see how it works on here.
Yes, please do, because that looks like something I would be interested in.
I will. You know what? Come
Helen,
back next week,
Helen,
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Amy bakes with those all the time, everything.
Does she? We got 2 in the mail. A couple
Not
days
that
ago.
shape specifically, but they have like even bowls like that and other stuff that she uses.
Amazing. All right, we're gonna. It feels very strange not to spray it, but they say specifically not to spray it. Yeah.
Ellen, does that have a frame?
Residue on it and like.
Oh.
I know that they say not to spray the frying pan, certain frying pans, the Teflon, I think.
Can you put the breadcrumbs on top and just roll the eggplant balls with the 4 seasoning on top, like make it more crunchier?
Oh, bear with me. Hold on 1 second. So you were saying roll the meatballs in breadcrumbs?
Yes, so it makes it more crunchier on top, so it looks more like a meatball, crunchy meatball. So you can maybe use it as a.
You can do that. That's fine. You can do that. That's fine. My fear with it would be is you want to get as much flavor on the inside, depending on the diameter of the meatball, because everything would be on the outside. You can try that.
You can try, as I said, whatever you would do to make your regular meatballs, you just take the meat out, put this in, and you just do it.
Okay.
I was wondering if you didn't put the breadcrumbs inside and mix it up, would the eggplant hold together just with the egg?
I don't know.
I know the egg does some. I know the eggplant helps keeping it down together. I mean, the eggs help keeping it down together. As far as without the breadcrumbs, you would, as long as you add other flavors to it, you can try that. I'm not sure how much flavor would be lost, though.
Well, I was just wondering about the consistency with,
Right,
the eggplant.
I am guessing that the eggs should help keep it together. That's something worthwhile to try, but I'm not sure to test. Maybe on in the batch that you have, or you when you prepare a batch, once it's done draining, you take 1 or 2 meatballs, you try it out on it with just the egg without the breadcrumbs, and just see how those come out. you'll have the opportunity to test, compare with all the other meatballs. Yes, just to test. I mean, you can right now after the eggplant is drained, you can separate them in a multitude of batches and flavor each one differently. After you, I mean, you could add the egg and then break them up into separate batches and then create separate seasonings for each batch.
And then if you didn't want to make meatballs out of them, you could probably put them all in a dish to bake it.
Like a meatloaf.
Like a meatloaf, yeah.
You can do a meatloaf with them. I can see a meatloaf being done. And so, as
Shepherd's
this
pie.
one, I'm sorry?
You could make a meatless shepherd's pie with that.
Yeah.
Yes, you could do that. You could do that with potatoes and vegetables. Yes.
There's no end to the combinations, is there?
No, the world is in you have the world is in your hand there.
That's great. It looks terrific. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
How long did you say, once again, how long did you say that you drain them?
We drain them for 20 minutes to drain, so that all the water comes out, and then you bake them for about 25 minutes. Okay. So most of the time it's a matter of waiting. It may be 10 minutes of manual labor throughout this whole process.
It's the waiting game, yeah.
It's the waiting game.
But while you're waiting, you can make your side with it. If you're having this with pasta, you can have the pasta being made. Or if you're doing like it as a sub, you can like prep your bread and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our dish.
Wonderful.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank